and let's turn this over to our very first chef. It's a three-star director. Her name is Amy, and she is going to make a salsa for us tonight. So take it away, Amy.
Well, hi. I am so excited to be sharing this recipe with you all. This is one of my most favorite recipes. It is a simple salsa. Can you guys all see
We got
me?
you. You're on the
Okay.
screen.
Okay, awesome. So anyway, I am using our Power Chef. I love, love, love the Power Chef system. And it has super sharp blades, 3 blades, and at 3 different heights, and they're angled so that they will emulsify everything that goes into this Power Chef. So anyway, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually take our Fridge Smart, and in here we have some fresh cilantro. Now, if you don't like cilantro, because I know that there are a lot of people that well, they don't like cilantro, and so if you don't like it, just omit it. That is just fine. So I am just going to actually rip it off. I probably should cut it, but I don't. I just rip it, and I just toss it in here. So, and I don't take it off of the stems either. So just the stems, and I'll go right down into the Power Chef, which is pretty awesome. And I actually, before, and did you see that? Let me show you guys. So my cilantro, it is like 2 weeks old, and it's still really nice and green, and not slimy at all. I hate slimy leafy things, you know, those are gross. So no grossness here. But anyway, I like to take my Power Chef and chop this up just a little bit before I put in some of the other items, just so that it doesn't get stuck around, because if you put it all in there at one time, sometimes those stems could get stuck around the they could wrap around the middle part. So I'm just gonna go ahead and chop those up a little bit, and no worries, because it'll chop up even more throughout the whole recipe. So I actually have some garlic, and it was fresh, and I froze it. So I do a lot of freezing, and we use our freezer mates, which are amazing, and including my peppers. So my peppers, I'm gonna have to wash my fingers because they're gonna have the pepper smell all over them. But anyway, the jalapeno peppers I clean and freeze them up like in the halves over winter. So I grow them in my garden, and then I chop them up and I freeze them. And my brother asked me, he was like, don't they get like smushy? No, they don't. And so they're really, really nice, and they still, but you got to put them in your Tupperware. So don't just put them like in a Ziploc bag or Rubbermaid or the other stuff. Okay, so put them in your Tupperware, and they'll stay nice and fresh for you. So we're just going to chop those up just a little bit, and then we're going to add some onion to it. So, because I like to put the garlic in and the pepper in, so so it gets a little bit more chopped than like when I put the onion in, because I don't mind having big chunks of onion. I don't really want big chunks of the jalapeno. All right. So anyway, we have our Chef Series knife, and it's super sharp, and the blade is really nice because it doesn't just end here at the handle. It goes from tip to tip. So another tip for you is not to cut at the root if you're not going to use the whole thing first, because that's where all that stinky stuff is that makes you cry. And if you're anything like me, you cry when you cut your onions. So, or at least I used to cry when I cut my onions. Not so much anymore. And it's funny because so tell us in the chat, do you cut onions? And if you do they make you cry? And are there tricks that you try to use to not cry when you cut an onion? I have heard a lot, and my grandmother actually told me once to put a pin or a paper clip. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. It was like 10 years ago. To put one in my mouth, and that will help me from crying whenever I cut my onions. So you know what? I gave up cutting onions up for a very long time. because I would cry every single time. And so I would make somebody else cut the onions, or I would buy dried onions. But I don't do that anymore. Now we always use fresh. And it's because you can use this Power Chef to cut them up and you don't cry. I don't have any tears, which is awesome. I don't like to cry, right? Not when it comes to cutting food, especially when I have my kiddos around. They're like, Mama, why are you crying? Well, because I'm cutting a really strong onion. And then they make fun of me. So anyway, I am using, so I have pepper in there. I have my garlic in there. We have cilantro and onion. And now we're going to use can of diced tomatoes. Now you may think that's weird, but it's really, really good. So I'm going to show you. This is our Tupperware can opener. When you get it, it's going to be like this. So you got to open it up. All right. And you got to put it right on top of there so that it sits on top. And then you're going to just turn it around. Now you might have to hold it like this and turn like this. That's okay. You can do that. All right. Or you can hold it and you can go like that, but it will click when it is gone all around. What I love about the can opener is this isn't sharp. And then when you take this, put it on the top, you have a little beaks. Did you see that? Let me just show you guys so that didn't see. So there are these like two little pieces. You're going to put this white piece right over top of the can, just like that, and close it so it sits on top. And then you're just going to pull it up just like that. So easy, right? And then this isn't sharp either. So that's another reason why I love this can opener, because I don't ever cut myself. And if I'm not going to cut myself, then my kiddos aren't going to cut themselves. And so for those of you that don't know, I have 3 kids here, and they are 5, 10, and 12. They're all different. They all love to help in the kitchen. So when they're helping me in the kitchen, I want them to be safe and use simple products. And so I love that about Tupperware, is that we have these safe, simple products that the kiddos can use. Anyone can use them. And if you have arthritis, this is great for arthritis or carpal tunnel too. So it's still really easy. Now I have here one of my favorite things, which is our counterscapes. And in my counterscape, I like to make my own seasonings. And so this is Southwest Chipotle seasoning. And then in the inside, which is even better, is a spoon. And so this spoon actually is a half a tablespoon. And so I am going to use 2 scoops of that. And they might be heaping. It's okay, because this salsa is usually for me and my husband, and we like it a little warm. So there's nothing wrong with that. So now we have our tomatoes in there and our seasoning in there. Now, if you don't have the Southwest Chipotle seasoning, you can use oregano too. It works. Trust me, it does. So I'm just going to pull that a couple more times, and then we're going to actually add a lime to it, fresh lime. And if you want to, you could roll it. That helps get it. Oops, don't toss it. Okay, if it does, it slips, right? But anyway, you got roll it a little bit, and it'll help break up those juices in there. And so I'm just gonna, I'm going to take this, and I am going to take off my lid and take my zester for my zest and press, and I'm just going to put it right over top and put in here some zest, because fresh zest is really good for you. Now you just got to be careful. If you don't know, you don't want to get the white stuff in there, but you do want the green stuff. So we have, and it's so fragrant, so yummy. I love citrus smells. So we have in here our zest, and some of it, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you it in here a little bit, just because. Okay, so you can put the zester right on top of your presser and zest it. You don't have to worry about it flying all over the place. And then it goes right down. Gosh, I got to hold this right, don't I? Down inside of there. You probably can't see that, but can you see that? Look at, so it does get a lot of good zest in there. And then you're going to cut the lime in half, and then you're going to take it and you're going to put it in, so the seeds and the juice part goes down inside, because if you put it the other way, it's going to squirt you in the eye, and then it's going to burn. So don't do that. All right, so just squeeze it down in there. Look at all that juice. So I'm not scared that it's going to go into my computer, but look at that. Do you see all that? That's crazy. So then it turns it inside out. Now, my kiddos, they they love to make lemonade with this. So fresh lemonade in the summertime is a must in the Gardner house. So, but actually, it's usually the Stratton house, which is my mom and my dad, because my mom's the one who does lots and lots of fresh lemonade with her grandkids. They love it, and so does she. So, let's hold this a few more times just so that it is all mixed up and chopped up. And then we're going to take our Clearly Elegant bowls, which is another favorite because it looks like glass, but it's not. And you can see through it. And this is amazing. So I have a little story. So my uncle came over for Easter this year. And he came over and he brought something. I forget what he brought, but he brought it and he put it in Pyrex glass, right? And we're passing it around. I'm like, oh, that's really heavy. It's really heavy glass. This is not so heavy. So I don't have to worry about the kids passing this around and dropping it. But look at that. Look at how pretty and colorful it is. I'm going to tell you, you're going to go home and you're going to make this and you are going to love this recipe. And because it's simple, it's easy, and
Thank you so much, Amy. That was awesome. So, Amy is a three-star director doing an amazing job. She has a beautiful company car, and we love having Amy be one of our chefs on our show often because she's got so many great ideas.